Sometimes you have to let it burn.
Yeah, it is 100 feet back, tromping through the woods. I'm currently standing at 200 feet mark because there's a slight little friendly, it's not a bad, it's a friendly property line dispute. And so I found one marker, which is good. So it tells us where the property line is. And now I'm heading to the next marker, which happens to be 1,200 feet due west of me. We're just counting it all off 100 foot at a time. My 85-year-old father is tromping in the woods with me to find this. Once we find it, once we see the other marker, then we'll start again from where the last marker is. I'm gonna clear all the trees and brush on our side of the property by like 6 to 8 feet. So which makes it clear and distinct where the property line is. So then eventually we'll get a fence through here and fence the property in. But right now we just want to find the next corner marker of the property. So this one is only 1,200 feet, and then we have a next one after that. No, this one's 1,300 feet, and the one after that is 1,200 feet. And that's the depth of the property. So yeah. The ugly part of homesteading that people don't tell you about is clearing of the property lines. So as my dad was back in the woods, I'm here going, you know what? The only way to do this is to go from the line from the corner. That's that little white flag back there, right there, all the way straight to the other one. And you have to go, I know that the other marker, because I found it, is 1,300 feet into the woods. So 1,320 feet through that. So the only way to get it cleared, to figure out where you got to go so you can put up your the fence, is to trailblaze the whole dang thing and go through, basically trailblaze everything all the way both directions. Then you can get a good clear path for know what the property line is. Then you can put in the fence, then you can do all that stuff. So especially here in the South, where it's brush and trees everywhere. So yeah, that's what I'm working on right now.
Clearing up property lines isn't glamorous work. There's no big moment, just maps, markers, and a lot of walking the land. But it matters because property lines aren't really about borders. They're about responsibility, knowing what you're meant to care for and what you're meant to leave alone. Every line out here carries history, agreements made long before now, neighbors trusting each other, land passed down without much noise. Bringing clarity to those lines does more than settle paperwork. It clears the mind. It removes doubt. It lets the land breathe again. Once the lines are clear, everything else gets easier. Plans make sense. Growth can happen without question. It's quiet work, necessary work, the kind that holds everything else together.
Shed getting it cleaned out. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, like all of this, because you know, one thing we don't think about, when your parents really grow up with nothing, they tend to keep and hold on to everything. And because they keep and hold on to everything, they really still don't have anything. It's just a lot of, you know, hodgepodge of junk and the stuff that it's not used anymore, or not needed anymore, but that stuff that's like, oh, we'll use it some other time. Like for instance, a spray handle for some pesticide. It's been cut off on the inside, but they're going to use it sometime. This is to be used. This is to be saved. It's not. It's kind of heartbreaking, but also kind of difficult, because here I am going through trying to clean this thing up, get it cleaned out. My dad has changed his mind. He wants to keep this thing now. and he wants to keep this and use it. So, which is fine, it's his, he can do what he wants, but it needs a lot of work. For instance, it needs better siding, needs to be closed up way better. These windows actually need to be opened out versus in, because if you open them in, they'll get in the way of the building, of how the building's done. Has no siding on the outside other than just the plywood. This window has to be reinstalled and reset back where it needs to go. There's a lot of things in here that don't make sense. I mean, squirrels have obviously gotten in here. Floor needs to be replaced. But yeah, like, don't need half the stuff that's on the shelf. A lot of the stuff should go to the garage, where it can be organized in there, because most of this is not, you know, garden stuff. So if anything, everything in here goes to garden, it should be in here for garden. It should not be in here for, you know, garage stuff. So yeah, organizing is what I do. So I'm gonna organize this. Put tools where they gotta go, get things where they gotta go, make it nice and neat, and then continue on. Figure, well, we can't plant anything right now other than some, like maybe radishes or anything like that. I'll get all this odds and ends type things taken care of till then. So yeah. So, change of plans. I am tearing down this shed because there's so much rat feces and urine and whatever else is inside of it. I don't want to have anything to do with the hantavirus. So it's gonna be burned. I'm gonna grab the tractor. I'm going to cut a hole through the floor joist. I'm gonna wrap a chain around it, and I'm gonna drag it to the burn area, and then I'm gonna light it on fire. So that's what's happening.
Some buildings aren't made for function alone. They're made out of love. This potting shed wasn't just something Devin's dad built. It was something he made for her, for his wife of almost 65 years. Built because she wanted a place to prepare the garden, a place to lay out seeds, tend the soil, and get her hands ready for the work she loved. He built it the way you build something, when you believe you still have time, carefully, patiently, knowing this wasn't really about wood or nails. It was about giving her space to do what brought her peace. Inside that shed lived more than tools. It held routines, seasons, quiet mornings and ordinary afternoons that became meaningful simply because they were shared. Gardens don't just grow food, they grow rhythm. They give days purpose, and that shed was where those days began. Time passed. Weather did what weather always does. The structure weakened, and eventually the shed had to come down. The boards were taken apart, and in the end, it was burned. And still, nothing important was lost. Because love doesn't live in lumber. It doesn't disappear with smoke. The memory of her hands in the dirt, the care she gave the garden, the devotion that built that shed in the first place, all of that remains. The fire didn't erase it, it released it. What was built out of love doesn't end when the structure does. It settles into the land, into the stories, into the quiet moments that still carry her presence. The shed is gone, but what it stood for is still here, and it always will be.
All right, then a long day. Start off with trying to finish the potting shed to having to burn it down. It's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to try to save it, but with all the squirrel and rat mess inside of it, it has just gone too far, too much. It was not worth keeping. Too many diseases would come from it. So it has now been equate to just a pile of ash at this point. Still burning. Been burning for several hours now. So I'm gonna sit out here for a little bit, wait till it burns down a good bit, and then when it's mostly down, I cleared out around it so it won't spread and nothing like that. It'll just smolder through the rest of the night and then be done. This task is finished. Which means I gotta rethink the entire garden area, which is fine, no big deal. We'll make it work, but we gotta rethink this entire garden area and make it where it's something different and something better for what we need. So, but tomorrow is a new day. We will finish cleaning up all the stuff that was in the shed, get it put away, haul a bunch of it down to the dump, and then, yeah, then I will make a plan for this area and see what we can do.